It's alright.
Oh my god!
Yo guys, what is up? Max from a Borderlands 3 video, and today we're doing it. The forbidden ranking of the Vault Hunters. I've been asked to do this so many times on streams, and it's hard to like lump the Vault Hunters into like the best at everything and the worst at everything, because you can compare them for like speed, single target mobbing, all these different criteria. But today we're just gonna rank them. I surveyed both my YouTube audience and on Twitter. I put out polls, and I'm gonna be disagreeing. Both polls came out with pretty much the same results. I'm gonna be disagreeing with them, so I'm sorry. I have played the game a lot. I'm coming from an informed stance on how to rank these characters, and you guys are more than welcome to disagree with my ranking. If you have your own, be sure to drop a comment. If you guys do enjoy the video, we're getting so close to 150,000 subscribers, so appreciate any help in reaching that goal. And with that, guys, let's get right into the video. All right, guys, let's do this. I'm honestly kind of dreading this. If you disagree with me, that is more than fine. We're just gonna go for, we're going from worst to best. We've got our 4 Vault Hunters. Now, I'm not going to rank any of the characters in the same tier. It would be no fun if I did all 4 like A and like 1 character in B. That's no fun. We're gonna go, I'm not using the D. We're just no comments about that. We're going S tier, A tier, B tier, and C tier. Not that the worst Vault Hunter is technically C tier. I'm just ranking it 4th best, and this is how this is laid out. So to start us off, we're going to be placing Amara. Now, Amara, when the game came out, was fairly strong. Then we got the driver, which scaled or did V2 damage, or scaled V2 damage. That was insane. We had the recursion. Amara was, if not the strongest character in the game, absolutely ridiculous. There's been nerfs to extra projectiles, nerf to fake grasping, nerfs to the driver, nerf to mindfulness. So many things that have kind of dropped Amara down. And currently, in her most recent state, I would actually put Amara in C tier. And let me explain. Amara is very strong. Amara is very strong. But I would say that she is the most limited in her setups currently in terms of being viable with a ton of stuff, because she's right now very limited to melee builds. If you want to keep up with the other Vault Hunters, which she can absolutely do, she can absolutely keep up with all the other Vault Hunters, but if she wants to, she's going to be restricted to melee builds. With the most recent nerfs to melee builds, it's even more harmful. Now, we just hit a video doing 690 billion damage with Amara. So, like, obviously she's still strong, but I do think that she's the most restricted right now in her setups. Not saying that gun builds don't work. I'm just saying if you compare her gun builds to literally everyone else's gun builds, she's not as strong. Obviously, Ties That Bind is strong, but... And if you compare her face puncher builds, even her face puncher builds aren't as strong as some of these other characters. She's not the best face puncher user. So for that, I'm going to rank Amara C tier. I will take your hate now. Give it to me. And then we're going to rank the next tier. Now, going for the third best. We'll say third best character. And in the YouTube and Twitter polls, both you guys, or all of you guys, ranked Amara as number 3 and Flak as the worst. And I think Flak is the 3rd best Vault Hunter. Honestly, Flak is very strong, and it took me a while. It took me the longest time to get used to playing Flak and how to play Flak well. And one thing to note about Flak is going down into Fight for Your Life doesn't mean that Flak is bad. Like, you do go down on Flak, probably more so than some of these other characters if you're not playing well, but Flak's single target damage is insane. Flak's damage formula is probably the best still in the game. Flak's very diverse. Obviously, Purple Tree Flak is a pretty big miss, to be honest, unless you're like using pet builds, and pet builds are cool, but I don't really personally enjoy them. But Flak's gun builds, Flak's U-Red builds, Flak's melee builds are very strong, and Flak has always been strong. Flak started out basically at the top, I would say, when the game released, took a little bit of a nerf, and has just been steady, always strong, always a good character, always a good pick. Never had the best survivability, but Flak makes up for it in damage and versatility in the things that you can use on Flak, and that is why I'm putting Flak as our number 3 character. All right, number 2. Now, this is where it gets tricky. This is where the big decisions are made, and this is where we're probably going to disagree. Now, Zayn and Mose are both very strong, absurdly strong. Zayn, I put out a video hitting for 5 trillion damage with Eraser. Mose hits for 1 trillion damage with an Ion Cannon and like hardly any setup. Mose, in terms of one-shotting enemies, has the easiest time in the game. It is ridiculous the amount of damage that Mose can do. And she has Iron Bear, Iron Cub, tons of annoyance that she can work with, tons of different builds. She's got good survivability and Bloodletter builds, not great survivability, but tons of damage with like Blastmaster builds, Flare ASE, melee builds. She's got a ton going for her. Zayn, on the other hand, has Mantis Cannon and Purple Tree. And it's very different, this ranking of how we would rank these if Zayn didn't have DLC. If you're comparing non-DLC Zayn to non-DLC Mose, Mose wins any day of the week. Non-DLC Mose is ridiculous. Zayn's kind of a pay-to-win character, to be honest. You need DLCs on Zayn to make him good. You need that Purple Tree. You need the Seeing Dead class mod. You need the Spy class mod. I don't need them, but Zayn is much better with the new class mods and is kind of our DLC character of Borderlands 3. Oh, this is a tough decision. I am going to put... this is so tough. I'm gonna put Mose as A tier, and that would make Zayn number 1. And let me explain why. I think Zayn right now doesn't have a downside, and this would be swapped. This would be 100% swapped if we weren't talking about DLC Zayn. Oh, he put in that. Okay, all right, go there. Mose right now has some downsides to her. There's some drawbacks to certain builds. I think Mose can do way more single target damage than Zayn. But Zayn right now is like, there's no real downsides to playing him. You've got ridiculous gun damage. You can run around, crazy speed. You can keep up barrier indefinitely and never go down. Like, you literally never go down. You can spam like a ridiculous amount of ASS shield anointed things. It's just stupid. Zayn really doesn't have any downsides. He's got commitment stacking to 1500% gun damage for like literally no effort at all. Now, I will say, in terms of like one-on-one with a boss, I would take Mose every day of the week. Mose is extremely strong, but Mose, for a decent amount of builds, you kind of need cloning maddening trackers. You kind of need the right annoyance. You kind of need splash damage weapons. Not saying that these are like crazy hard to get. The cloning maddening tracker is pretty difficult. You can give Mose an amp shield and a rocket launcher, and she's good to go. I think Mose at its highest tier is ridiculous when you fully equip out Mose. But Zayn, if you have the DLCs and you have the gear, you can literally pick up anything and just go to town with it. Mose is a little bit more required, but I could definitely rate Mose higher than Zayn. And it could flip-flop. And I'm really curious to how you guys feel. I do think that putting Zayn at the S tier just because his versatility and like the literal minimum amount of work that you need to put in to get him to that S tier. And Mose, you need a little bit more gear. You need a little bit more knowledge on how to use it. Then Zayn, you just click the LB button or F and G button, Mantis go burr, and everything's dead. You literally don't need to use a gun. I feel like I've said literally a lot this video. I apologize. But yeah, guys, that is how I would rank the Vault Hunters. Obviously, this is a tough thing to do because everyone has their own opinions. If we were rating them by like area clear, Mose would probably be number 1, or Amaru might be number 1. Ball is very strong. Ties That Bind is really strong, and each of them have these scenarios. It's hard to put them lump into like just best or worst, but that is how I would rate them given by your polls. I think you guys already disagree with me, so we'll see how that goes. But this is my ranking. If you guys want to make your own tier list and send it to me on Twitter, I will have the this link in the description so you can rank them, or you can also just comment. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sorry if I upset you. And with that, guys, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
I was put